we've talked about this on the show. Chad Holbrook was let go last night by Ray Tanner. Ray Tanner, who I think was, I've said this before, he was as good a coach in any sport that I was ever around. The guy was a great communicator to the community, to the players. He had a slogan, win anyway. And it didn't matter if they had injuries. This guy would win. Just win anyway. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear excuses. And so he was a legend there. I think he went to 15 straight NCAAs, won back-to-back national championships, and went to another time and lost in the finals. And we've always talked about this, Dad. You don't want to be the guy that follows the guy. You think about Dean Smith. I think Guthridge probably did a good job. They had then Matt Doherty, and now they finally got it right, Roy Williams. Steve Spurrier was the guy. He left. Ron Zook came in. Yeah. So Urban kind of got it turned. Then Muschamp, now they're with McElwain. The Coach Bryant thing is well documented on who followed the guy. And I think that baseball situation was kind of the same thing. Following Ray Tanner was very, very difficult. Let's talk about that a minute. Following what I call the guy. How in the world do you follow a guy like Nick Saban? And I think that'll affect maybe their hiring. There'll be somebody that will take it. But why is that so difficult to follow the guy? Even David Hobbs following you. I think you were the guy. He did okay, but he had a hard time keeping it at that level. What makes that so difficult to follow the guy when the program's in place?
Because all coaching is based on expectations. All seasons are based on expectations, and you're used to expecting. If you want to talk about football, a shot at the national championship, an opportunity to go to Atlanta, an opportunity to win your division, and if that falters on you some, it all goes back to recruiting. If people can't come in and follow a guy who's been successful recruiting wise and continue that trend, then the expectations that the fans have is not there, and they start to complaining. And the biggest problem that the athletic directors have is they stop buying tickets, and you have to look and see where we are or where you are with your ticket sales. People drop off and quit buying tickets, and that affects you some. So as I said before, I won't make it boring, but we sit around for a lot of people sit around and yacked a lot in the years I was there when Coach Bryant was about to get out of coaching. Every year they thought that was it, and he stayed on, and then eventually decided to get out. So it is a very difficult thing to continue in the same way that your opponent, your past guy did, and it is very hard. Now, the Nick Saban thing, that'll be just this side of impossible, and if we still have the same athletic director, he'll do a good job, and he'll name someone, but regardless of who you name, there'll be some dissatisfaction. That's the way it'll be, and you just have to work your way through it.
Well, here's the thing, like South Carolina baseball this year in the preseason, and you've talked about this, they were ranked number 4 in the country, not in the SEC, number 4. So that's what you're saying there. The expectation was we're about to have a phenomenal year. Omaha, win the SEC or be right there at the top 1 or 2. And then he had a couple of injuries on the pitching staff. He had a couple of other injuries at other key positions, and they honestly didn't have a good year. And he didn't set the expectation. He didn't rank them number 4, but they were. And so then when they had that season like that, everybody is all disgruntled. And that's one of the reasons why I wish people would temper these expectations for Alabama basketball next year. I mean, I've seen stuff they got them ranked in the top 15, the greatest recruiting class in Alabama history. Everybody is all torqued up now for this just to be a phenomenal run. And there's not one kid on that roster has ever played in the NCAA tournament. Does all of a sudden just think they're going to go to the Sweet 16? I mean, the expectation there to me is out of whack. So,
well,
go ahead.
You know, the slogan you said they had, win anyway. Well, win anyway doesn't work sometimes. There are years, as you know, that you get your best players injured. That something happens that your best players can't play for whatever reason, family or something. And, you know, other things creep into your program that you don't think's going to happen. And injury is a big factor. You got to keep your people well. It's said very quickly, and you go on to something else. But boy, is that a key? Is that a key of keeping your people able to play each and every game if you are a favorite team? So some years, win anyway doesn't work. It's a great slogan. I think terrific. But sometimes when your best players can't play because of injuries, it's not possible to do.
Yeah, so I think that's why you were always, not for you, but for the program and the players, trying to lower expectations. Everybody was bragging about this guy and that guy. And then you ended up doing really well. You somehow got it lowered a little bit. Sometimes they would look at you and say, all right, yeah, whatever. That's just Wimp being Wimp. But, you know, I can see this situation happening. Not Avery Johnson being let go, but I'm saying the expectation just gets out of whack. And
Coach Bryant lowered him. Boy, Coach Bryant didn't. He wouldn't listen to that stuff. Coach Bryant lowered him in his.
Nick Saban lowers them, I think.
Yeah,
he tries to
Yeah.
by saying, you know, we're certainly not a great team right now. You know, the potential's there, but, you know, he tries to lower them. He talks it down, doesn't he? I don't think he's up there beating his chest talking about
he is. Everybody has their own personality. And I think Alabama basketball, they're really interested in seeing people come out and fill the seats and have a great home court advantage, and I think that's fine. I don't. Everybody does it the way they feel like it's best for them, and Avery's done a good job. So, I think it's fine. Everybody just, you just have to understand that the expectation factor is humongous. It is the factor. So.
Yeah, and I think we'll see. You just don't. Because then if you do it, hey, that's what you just did what you were supposed to do. Everybody's picking you high, and so Chad Holbrook out. We'll see if he lands on his feet. Ray Tanner will meet with the media this afternoon.
The expectation situation in baseball, Alabama next year is up. I mean, I don't know what he can do. The big deal was cutting people's scholarships, and I don't know how he's going to handle that. He knows what he wants to do, but. They don't expect him to have a great year, but I do think that they feel like that they're going to be a lot better.
Yeah, but I think he's walking into a perfect. They only won 5, so if you win 10, everybody thinks you hung the moon. I mean, he's got to get past 5, so I think he's walking in.
Yeah,
I think the expectations are down right now, and he comes in and does anything. Everybody's lowered it. Talked about the scholarship. Baseball's gotten more attention.
Did you notice a little bit of expectations problems with softball at Alabama?
Oh, yeah, there was. People were screaming about Patrick Murphy during the season. The guy's been the 13 straight super. He's got the expectations out of whack. He's the guy. He's one of the guys in college softball. So when he leaves, whenever that'll be, that won't be anytime soon because he's a young guy, but he's one of the guys, and he's got the expectations, not him, by what he's done. People want to question if they don't win every freaking game and get to Oklahoma City every year.